Hi, Andrew Marty from SACS here, and if you're watching this video, it seems like you're either considering or you're just about to embark on a 360-degree feedback process. I just thought I'd give you a couple of tips about the sorts of things that you might like to consider before you do embark on a 360-degree feedback process. Tip number one is that I strongly recommend that you don't do 360-degree feedback if you don't have requisite levels of trust in amongst the participants. In other words, a kind of an atmosphere where people are prepared to see this as a positive exercise, not as some kind of a nasty evaluative exercise. So requisite levels of trust is a key thing. Second, I think what's really important is where you get everybody together, particularly all the people who are going to be evaluated, and you agree what the purpose of this exercise is. In effect, you set a destination for it. What I mean by that is, are we doing this in order to cause people to be able to develop? Okay, if that's the objective, then we should be explicit about this. Are we doing it to improve our commercial outcomes? Okay, if that's the objective, let's be clear on that. Are we doing it in order to cause people to be able to be more effective in supervision and delegation, let's say? So clarity about what we're hoping to achieve from it is very important. Now, the final thing I'd say is that in 360-degree feedback, you have a choice of two general categories of instruments. What I mean by instruments is a set of questions that you're going to ask during the 360-degree feedback process. So the first option that you have for 360-degree feedback is what we would call a normative approach. A normative approach is where you have standard questions that you don't really have a choice to change. They are questions which are used for an extremely wide range of organisations, and on those questions we have a range of statistical information. What that allows us to do is to compare people against a population, and the population that we compare against is a population of leaders. So with a normative instrument, you can say that this person is at the 20th percentile on a particular dimension of leadership, and that means that they're better than 20% of the people who've ever completed this instrument in the past. Now, normative instruments can be popular, but we find far more popular is the second option, which is a competency-based instrument. Now, a competency-based instrument is really questions that have been developed specifically for your own needs. And so they're unique to you as an organisation, and they're unique to the group that you're going to apply them to. Competency-based instruments tend to be popular for a couple of reasons. Reason number one is a thing in psychology that we call face validity. When I look at these questions, I understand why they're relevant to me, and I believe that they are valid. They look right. And if I've been involved in developing those questions, so much the better. Second thing, there is some research evidence that if you use a competency-based unique instrument, in other words, one devised for your particular organisation, the amount of change that you get when you try to use this 360-degree feedback as a measure of growth, the amount of change that you get is higher. So if you measure it now and you measure it in 6 months and you base some kind of a coaching or development process on the competencies that are in the 360-degree feedback tool, you tend to get a bigger change than you will out of the normative instrument. And I think that's because of that relevance factor. People see this relates to me. So there are a couple of bit of a technical consideration as to which of these instruments is going to be best for you, a normative instrument or a competency-based instrument. If you've got any questions at all, please don't hesitate to drop us an email or ring us, and we'd be only too happy to help you make the decision as to which instrument is going to be best for you.